one reason you are gassing out and it feels like you can't get your lungs back into your body between the third and the sixth round. Just thinking it's conditioning, but it's not conditioning. This is what you'll refer to from now on as your bandwidth is collapsing. And in that trigger, what happens is your brain gets to a place where it starts to panic and it shuts off all communication from your brain to your body, and the nervous system comes into play. And that's where you're dealing with this. This is biological. So this isn't just the stuff you hear in the gym. So that's why it's not common to you, but this is where your nervous system is no longer organized. It's in total chaos because the brain is sending a warning signal. So if you found yourself not being able to throw punches, just your jab just goes away. Or if you're in a place where you just literally you can't find a way to get going and flow, then that's what you're dealing with. And this is cognitive bandwidth collapsing. Having the right approach to developing your athletes, and most trainers, you're doing the best that you can. No one told you that there are other layers to developing athletes than teaching them great mitt work and teaching them the defensive drills and the counterpunch skills. No one said, well, by the way, do you understand how to create a full, complete loop in the nervous system? No one has said that one day you're going to have to understand cognitive bandwidth. No one said that. You didn't know this, but that's why we have experts to bring that world where athletes can now feel comfortable doing different things. Having the ability to start looking at your opponent and reading what they're doing versus getting to a place where they're not able to read their opponents. You're only reacting. If you've ever had to read an opponent and you couldn't anymore because your decision time is slowed down, you can't lift your arms to throw the punch right, or you can't, every time you get caught with a jab or a right hand, you're like, how did that get through? It's because unconsciously your arms are dropping and you're getting hit clean and you never saw that coming. So therefore, that's what you are not in control anymore. Remember, the nervous system is totally taken over. So whatever it wants to do is what's going to happen. So I want you to take this and let you know what to do next. How do you fix this problem is what we're going to get into for the next 2 to 3 minutes, one round of this. The first thing that we focus on is giving you a method. Muscle memory is something that you hear. So cognitive learning is what you do whenever you are trying to learn the science. It's cognitive first. You become aware, but then this is the area that you follow consistently. It's like footwork drills. It's day one. You see that? That's day one. If you want this stuff to be in you and you can do it all the time, even without being conscious, it's on autopilot. Day one, footwork, logistics, defensive drills, in all of them. This is the muscle memory developmental chart, right? This goes into your program. This isn't the way your training camp works. This is how you train every day. So most people don't actually have this. This is the 10,000 hours, 365 days a year is what you do here. When your training camp starts, and I'm going to show you this in a second, this is where it starts to get dicey, right? Because muscle memory allows you to get into the ring and box against a guy with skills that you can adapt and you can adjust to, right? That's what it does. It's memorizing. You're not owning it because at any time, boom, once pressure comes into play, remember what I said at the very beginning. When pressure is implemented into it, then you start losing organization in your nervous system. And that shuts off all access to the skills. So this gets you past that point because you've done it so much, because you do it every day the same way, that you have autopilot and it goes into autopilot. Now, do you actually understand how to compose yourself again, though? See, that's where hardwiring this into you so that when pressure is applied, you know exactly how to deal with it. Because who likes to feel pressure come and you're swollen, bleeding, leaking, can barely see out of your eye, or got hit with a liver shot? The jab, you can't get out of the way of the jab. No one wants that. So how do you compose yourself and your bandwidth is operating large enough to implement what you need to implement? You see, that's what we're talking about in the sport of boxing. How do you implement what's required when it's required, when the coach is calling for it? Most of you are not able to, and you can't figure out why. You got to have this. This is what we call the 52 weeks installation guide. Next, when the pressure comes, you're in there against Mike Tyson in 1988. What you need is to understand the most important part and principle of boxing. It doesn't matter what you do when you feel good and you're in training camp. Doesn't matter what you do when you're running those miles. Because what needs to be implemented is what happens when you get punched in the mouth, because everybody got a plan until you get hit. And this is pressure performance. This is what happens when you fight and you don't want to leak. This is your art of fighting guide, right? And this takes you through all scenarios. So you're embedded every single thing that you need to do, and including situational boxing. That's where most of the time, trainers working so hard and they think hard work is the right work. But let me be clear, that's not the case. Hard work is just hard work. If anything, hard work creates what we call cognitive load. Cognitive load is too much going on in your brain and in your body. So you've overcompensated, and on fight night, you don't have anything. It doesn't matter how well you can handle pressure. It doesn't matter how well you can do the skill, how well you can adjust. If you don't have, boom, cognitive load management, you're going to crash and burn anyway. It happens every weekend. Every weekend. So therefore, the art of fighting, situational boxing, this creates what we refer to in sports performance / fight science as organizing your nervous system. Does that make sense? Because when your nervous system is organized, chaos can't happen. And when you get in trouble, you can do that on autopilot. This is all in a place where we keep it. It's the main reason we built the hybrid fight school, so people can get into that area that they just get lost in. It gets scary. And when you start getting into those places, the promoters start to question your commitment. The managers, they start looking elsewhere, and the contracts start to vanish. And therefore, you're left alone. Coaches, the only person that the fighter has belief in is the person who's with them every single day. And that's you. So prevent that situation. For those of you who've never been on this page and know that what we do is bring the fight game to this level, we're going to leave a link. And our university is not just a book. It's an absolute complete institution of building world champion level guys so that they can compete at the highest level of boxing. And in order to do that, you must first have curriculum. That is cognitive mastery. That means it's going to be stamped in your head so that it's playing in that reel in your brain anyway, even if no one tells you what to do. Second is emotional. This gets your second level of mastery. That's your nervous system. You'll need that. That's art of fighting. And then the third layer of mastery is physical mastery. This is going into the fire, practicing regulated time periods, not just going hard. There are layers and tiers in order to operate and train your body in. When you go outside of any one of those layers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, you will crash and burn, and someone else will be signing your contract. So if you don't want to have that happen, understand this facet of it. Trainers, make sure no matter what you think about, you make sure that you understand where to get your feet in a place that will prevent all of those skill training drills that you're doing. It'll put it in concrete and upgrade it because it'll show up on fight night. Now just imagine if your strategy actually showed up and it didn't get cut off by the cognitive bandwidth. How good would your fighter be? If you want to answer that question honestly, we're going to put a link down in the description, and it's going to lead you directly to Hybrid Fight School. And when you go up in there, just remember one thing. This is where the rubber hits the road, and these are what champions are made. We got 3 champions on our board of electees. We don't play boxing. This is why we are the actual advisor for the sport. And if you're working hard, we want to support you. So get over there, check it out, let us know what you think. And if you're into boxing, actually active in boxing, let us know exactly where you're watching from. I like to read my comments at least 1 hour a day, and I'm about to read your comments. Be blessed. Welcome to Hybrid Fighter. Let's make some champions, guys.